all through the day, all through the week, all through the months and throughout the year, you work so hard, you put in so much energy to achieve the goals that you set out for yourself. And yet, when the day ends, when the month ends and the year comes to an end, you have the feeling you haven't gone any far in those goals. You lack motivation when it comes to really starting to achieving those goals. You lack motivation when it comes to really getting started and achieving those goals. You feel really stressed up when you just think about getting those things done. Are you in that space? Does that sound familiar to you? Well, you may be suffering from self sabotage. I know this from my personal experience. So, welcome to another GloBUNTU video. My name is Beatrice Achaleke. I'm the founder of the GloBUNTU Mindset system. Today, we're talking about self sabotage. And I'd like to give you 6 GloBUNTU steps on how to deal with self sabotage. But before we get there, let me explain to you what self sabotage means. When you are very enthusiastic about doing something, you set out to do it, you feel very, very good about doing it. But then when it comes to really getting it done from step 1 to the end, you get stuck somewhere. You feel really stressed up. You have so many other things to do. You get distracted. And at the end of the day, you realize that you haven't come any far. And so you feel demotivated and eventually you let it go. That is how I have experienced self-sabotage in some of the things that I set out to do. And so I had to come up with strategies on how to handle it so I can really move on with my goals. So first of all, let me tell you some of the symptoms of self-sabotage. One of them, one big one, is excuses. When you find excuses for the things that you haven't done, instead of finding reasons and ways on how to get it done. You get that right? When you find excuses for not having it done instead of finding ways on how to do it, it means that's one of the symptoms. That's one of the symptoms. That is one of the symptoms of self-sabotage. When you keep procrastinating, I'll do it in the evening. I'll do it when I finish lunch. I'll do it when when the kids get to bed. I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it when I grow up. I'll do it when the divorce is over. When you procrastinate instead of doing it immediately, it means you may be suffering from self-sabotage, okay? Distraction, oh my goodness. We get distracted so much today. One of the greatest distractions that we face is social media. Your WhatsApp, when the messages come in, there's always someone sending you messages on WhatsApp. You're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're on Pinterest, you are on your emails. That is a whole bunch of distractions. It keeps you busy, but not on the things that need to be done. So if you're constantly on Facebook, you're constantly on your social media, you may want to watch out. You may be really distracting yourself from things that you really want to get done. Okay, self-sabotage symptom number 3 is distraction. Number 4 is anxiety. When you feel that hollow feeling, that big hole inside your belly, when you think about what needs to be done, when you fear, you get those sweat bumps when you think about what needs to be done. That is anxiety. Anxiety doesn't take you anywhere into your goals. It doesn't help you achieve your goals in any way. No amount of anxiety will. So you will better watch out. If you feel that anxiety, if you feel very anxious when it comes to getting things done, you may be under the attack of self-sabotage. Watch out. If you're constantly busy being busy, you always have something to do, but not what needs to be done, not something that is taking you towards achieving your goal. It may be a symptom of self-sabotage. If you're overwhelmed, extremely overwhelmed about your goal, you talk about it instead of doing it, then that's another sign. So 6 symptoms of self-sabotage that you want to watch out for is 1, excuses, 2, procrastination, 3, distraction, 4, anxiety, 5, being busy, and 6, being overwhelmed and overworked. That is a symptom. Those are the 6 symptoms of self-sabotage. Now, how do you deal with them? I had to find ways on how to deal with them. I need to first understand why what makes me have the symptoms, what comes with the symptoms. Number 1 is when you set too big goals. When your goals are too big, they become too frightening for you to achieve. So you have the feeling you're actually into them, but the end story is that you're not, because you don't know where to start. You really get frightened when you think about them. So what you want to do is break down your goals, break them down into small steps, steps that you can actually realize, steps that are easy to realize so you can manage them. Okay. Like for example, you want to release weight. Don't say I want to release 10 kilos by the end of the year. No, start checking the habits that will allow you to actually release weight. Could be like drinking more water, more doing workouts, doing some exercises, changing your eating habits, and stuff like that. So if you start with that, you'll definitely see the result quicker. Number two, cause of number two reason why we have self-sabotage is dependency. When you depend on people, on other people, on circumstances, on situations to get things done, and when those things don't happen, those circumstances don't manifest, then you turn not to do things and you find an excuse. So that dependency becomes your excuse. Okay, so you really want to make sure that whatever you want to achieve, you can rely 99% on yourself. Yes, I know the principle of I am because you are. I'll get to that. So when you do that and you know you can rely on yourself, you have no excuses for not getting your stuff done. Okay. And number three is fear. The fear. Do you know that sometimes the fear of succeeding actually stops you from no, let me take it all over. Do you know that the fear of failing sometimes stops you from succeeding? When that fear stops you from really taking action towards the direction of the things that you want to do, because you fear that you may fail, then you really want to look into that. Sometimes the fear of succeeding really make us to fear. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. It's something a little bit complicated, but if you really see that when you fear, you find out what is making me afraid. What am I afraid of? Someone defined fear as false evidence becoming real. So, what substances do you have? Is it a lack of information, lack of expertise? Is it a lack of the right connections? So, you want to really tackle fear if you wish to get out of the zone of self-sabotage. Okay. And number four is distraction. If you really want to tackle distraction, you will need to make sure that you reschedule the time that you spend on your social media, the time that you spend on answering messages instead of really getting your stuff done. You may want to divide your day into two. I'm going to spend 1 hour on just answering messages. And when you're answering your messages or on your social media, make sure you're not working on your goals at the same time. If you're working on your goals, make sure you shut down your phone. Whatever calls, whatever messages that come, they can wait. They can wait. They will be there when you come back to them. So make sure you focus on your goals, and that will take you out of the zone of self-sabotage. Okay, perfection. Don't wait until you're perfect before you start. Don't wait until you're perfect before you set on the journey of achieving your goals. So you have to start today. If you start today, you learn along the line. The good thing about starting when you're not perfect is that you can track your growth, how much you're growing in the process. You can look back and say, this is where I started, this is how far I have come. So you can actually measure how much you have grown and how much you have reached when you get started. Okay, so when you do that, I wish for you to start now when you really want to get your things done and free yourself from self-sabotage. Make sure you track your milestones, your small achievement, track them and celebrate them. How do you track them? You can track them using your phone. You can make it a point every day, at the end of the day, to do an audio summary of your day. What happened during my day? What is it that I achieved? You may make it a point to make a note, or you may set up a blog, or just get a block note and make sure you track each and every milestone. It will really give you the zeal and the enthusiasm to carry on, especially then when things get a little bit rough. Okay. And one thing you also want to do is apply the principle of I am because you are. What do I mean by that? I mean that as an individual, you're not complete. So what you need to do is find someone whom you can be accountable to, someone who can hold you accountable for the things that you say you will do. That someone could be a friend, could be a sister, a brother, your colleague, could be someone that a good friend on Facebook, Or it could just be your cell phone. Let your cell phone hold you accountable if you don't want to really get someone involved in this. You can let your block note hold you accountable. You can let your audio messages that you do to yourself or your diary hold you accountable for the things that you say you want to do. Okay? When that is done, I need you to allow yourself to learn. Allow yourself to learn means that what people call mistakes, for me, is just a learning curve. So do things, allow yourself to do things even when you think that you're not doing them right. Because until you do them, until you start doing them, you will never know whether you're doing them right or not. So give yourself the permission to become a learner when you really want to achieve your goals and free yourself from self-sabotage. And the last one is stay proactive. You want to make sure that every day you do whatever it takes, even if it's just a small step that takes you towards achieving your goals. Is it writing for example, if you set out to write a book, make sure you do a little bit of research every day. Make sure you write one paragraph, one sentence, even if you have to erase it the next day. Make sure that one sentence or one paragraph or one page or even one chapter is written every day. Set a deadline that you need to be able to achieve that, and make sure you walk along that line. If you do that, I promise you, you will free yourself from self-sabotage, and you see that things, you just get that energy and the enthusiasm and the motivation to get your things done and to achieve the goals that you set out to achieve. Thank you for watching. If you like this, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and come to my masterclass. Come into one of my masterclass if you really want to get some of these things done. If you want spreadsheets, if you want me to help you to get this done in a systematic way. You can also follow me on Facebook or on YouTube. I would like to see you on my Facebook pages or on my social media. Thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Beatrice Achaleke. I am the founder of the GloBUNTU Mindset System and your accountability sister when it comes to letting go and freeing yourself from self-sabotage. Thank you.